we've reached 6060. So I think I'll invite the Honorable President, Press Club Kolkata.
Thank you, Dr. Pandey. Most respected Professor Dr. Mrinal Chatterjee, the Regional Director of Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Eastern Regional Campus at Dhenkanal, Odisha, Professor P.K. Panigrahi, the Head of the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Calcutta University, Ms. Monideepa Banerjee, former Editor East of NDTV and a very, very renowned professional journalist, a good friend of mine, and Ms. Suchorita Bardhan, the Communication Specialist of Unicef West Bengal, Dr. Pandey, the Project Director of this Unicef Press Club Kolkata project on development communication, and my dear students of various universities. I first welcome the students because you are here. That is why our purpose is served. I also welcome all the distinguished professors and the distinguished persons who have come here, including His Excellency, Professor Mr. Mohiuddin, the head of UNICEF office, Kolkata. Welcome, sir. And we welcome all others. Let me tell you the purpose for which we are here. Press Club Kolkata and UNICEF West Bengal has been spearheading a project since last year, and the topic was crisis communication. Obviously, the entire world was going through a crisis, pandemic, infodemic, information, misinformation, ethical reporting, obviously with a thrust on women and children. But this year, I'm grateful that the UNICEF has continued the partnership with the Press Club Kolkata, which is the oldest press club of the entire subcontinent, for this academic exercise. And Press Club is also committed for the upliftment of the professional standard of journalism. And the project considers the budding scribes, the journalists of future, the communicators of future, communication teachers of the future, IEC component people of future, or those who will deal with information, education, communication, public relations, advertising, any sort of communication, those who will join the profession. I believe they are to be sensitized first if we want to make our future brighter in the agenda in which we are working for. That is ethical reporting, better understanding and reporting on development. Development, we must understand what it is and how to engage oneself in development journalism, what to see. There are a lot of projects, lot of developments, and every development has a lot of ancillaries, lot of offshoots. So how to tackle them, handle each of these issues, and how to find out the people in the process of development for which the development is mandated to, is targeted to. So what happens with the people? All these things will be deliberated. I'm very happy that all our resource persons have made it a point, even if they don't have lectures today, they have come here in the inaugural. That shows us a team spirit, that everybody is committed to find that space of development journalism in our parlance. It's a three-pronged project, as we will sensitize the students, the future generation. We have already put this sensitization to the faculty members of various universities and colleges in West Bengal, because they are going to teach them. They are involved in pedagogy, so the right kind of message should go. And simultaneously, we are on the job of sensitizing the journalists, especially the journalists who work in the districts. So we have done one in Purulia with the journalist of Purulia and Bankura, and we are going to do another in Shantiniketan for the journalist of Birbhum and Murshidabad, and then rest for the journalist of North Bengal and Shiliguri, and then in the South Bengal and Kolkata. So it's a three-pronged project to find the space of development in a better and in a right perspective manner. I'm thankful to the Unicef Office West Bengal, its head, Mr. Mohiuddin, and the communication specialist, Ms. Suchorita Bardhan. I am thankful to Dr. Chatterjee, Dr. Panigrahi, Ms. Monidipa Banerjee, and obviously Dr. Shankar Pandey for making this possible. Somewhere somebody is arranging the resources and you all are giving time. So it has to be meaningful and result-oriented. Thank you very much. And Press Club Kolkata is honored to be a part of this project with a commitment, because when we see all of you are serious, we see that we are in the right track. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. The kind of things that we have been able to do in this workshop is largely due to the very inspiring and the totally involved leadership provided by you. And we've seen how much you have supported us in every step of this project and the one we did before. And we did a number of projects before that as well. And just today, I came across a picture that from Rajasthan 5 years ago. And I was just looking back at the different kind of themes that we've discussed, the different methods we've adopted to take development journalism, not just to students, but to other stakeholders as well. And I, for one, have enjoyed it immensely. And it's always a delight to speak to people like Snehasis and Ms. Suchorita Bardhan. So I would invite Ms. Suchorita Bardhan, Communication Specialist, Unicef Office for West Bengal, to kindly introduce the workshop to our students of University of Calcutta and St. Xavier's University, Kolkata.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shankar Pandey. And thank you, Mr. Snehasis, who has truly been our leader and been the entire inspiration of rolling this out in West Bengal. And of course, I owe this to my chief of UNICEF West Bengal, Mr. Mohammad Mohiuddin, who has actually prioritized this as one of the most important initiatives that we are working on currently. So thank you all very much. I am also very happy to see the renowned resource persons, somebody who I know very well, Professor Dr. Mrinal Chatterjee. I am yet to be introduced to Professor Panigrahi, but I'm sure in the short run, not the long run, short run, we'll be meeting each other soon. And I'm very happy to have Monidipa here. We've seen Monidipa covering news from NDTV, where she was earlier in her career. And we are quite overjoyed to have her as part of our resource team. So welcome to you also, Monidipa. A very big and huge welcome to the students of University of Calcutta and St. Xavier's University. To you, I would like to say that this is a kind of a dream come true, personally for me and definitely for UNICEF, because we've started working on this way back in 2012 in Assam in Tejpur University. And since then, we've been working with media students, postgraduate media students, as well as the others that Mr. Snehasis already mentioned, that of the faculties and definitely media practitioners. In my experience of working with students, in those days, we were having face-to-face meetings, and we had a workshop mode to try and work together on development journalism. And it was an immense learning. And I think every learning or training or orientation situation is always a co-learning situation. It provides immense scope for both the learner and the learnee to come together and understand situations from a different perspective. To the students, I would say that this is about trying to report on issues that otherwise do not get priority, do not get space. And when I'm referring to space, I look at mainstream media, and therefore trying to cover issues on social development, particularly also on women and children. We've tried in various formats, trying to look at how these can be qualitatively enhanced in terms of reporting, will be evidence-based, and definitely look at responsible and ethical reporting. From UNICEF, we've been working on ethical reporting for children, and we've had guidelines on that. We know about the Press Council. But recently, with all the legal provisions, this has become even more important. And therefore, learning to report on issues that are important but don't always get space or priority. At the same time, trying to make it interesting through storytelling, also looking at evidences because we look at data journalism. We have an entire gamut of issues we are trying to cover here. And I'm confident that all of you will be very interested and, if not absorbed in the sessions. That is the feedback that we've had from the earlier batch as well. So looking forward to the very packed 3-day session. And of course, we have our very own Dr. Shankar Pandey at the helm of affairs in trying to facilitate all the students, time you, ensure that you have the resource persons, also ensuring your feedback at the end of it. So a very warm welcome to all of you, and looking forward to your feedback, to your interactions, so that we can try and improve the thing that we are trying to do at the moment, and also hoping at that some point of time when we are going to be able to have a face-to-face meeting, we would like to plan something more as the next step from here. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Pandey to take on with the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suchorita Bardhan, for all your support and your direction, and the way you share the vision with the team at Press Club Kolkata and elsewhere. Thank you for everything. For the benefit of the students of University of Calcutta and St. Xavier's University, Kolkata, I have the honor of introducing Mr. Mohammad Mohiuddin, the Chief UNICEF Office for West Bengal. Mr. Mohammad Mohiuddin started his current mission to India as Chief UNICEF Office for West Bengal since November 2017. He's also UN's State Coordinator and Area Security Coordinator for the whole United Nations system. He's an active member of Consular Corps Kolkata, which is the forum of the diplomatic community in Kolkata. He's been leading UNICEF mission in the area of education, health, nutrition, water, sanitation and hygiene, child protection, social policy and communication for development, advocacy and media and partnerships as well. UNICEF, as you know, has been working in partnership with government departments and parastatals, legislatures, judiciary, Child Rights Commission, Human Rights Commission, universities, civil society organizations, and the private sector. Prior to joining UNICEF India, he's been UNICEF's Chief of Field Office in Sokoto, Nigeria since 2014, where he set up the field office and has led UNICEF's program in 3 northwestern federal states. Mr. Mohiuddin has been working for the last 33 years in the area of public policy, institutional development and governance, and development management. Mr. Mohiuddin worked from 2006 to 2014 with UN DPKO missions in Afghanistan as head of civil affairs section in the regional office Kunduz, as the deputy head of field coordination and mission headquarters Kabul, and in Sudan with the office of UNRCHC as humanitarian affairs officer. In his first assignment with UNICEF, he worked with the Bangladesh country office as program coordinator, the emergency obstetric care from 2000 to 2004. Prior to this, he's also had a long stint with the World Bank from 1998 to 2000. Mr. Mohiuddin started his career in the Bangladesh Civil Service in 1988 and worked with the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, National Planning Commission, and Central Bank of Bangladesh. He obtained his master's in economic policy management from University of Clermont-Ferrand, France in 1996 with World Bank Graduate Scholarship and a program, World Bank Graduate Scholarship Program, and a master's in economics from University of Chittagong in 1988. We are delighted to welcome you for the inaugural address at this inaugural session, Mr. Mohammad Mohiuddin.
Thank you so much, distinguished resource persons, my colleague Suchorita Bardhan, and students from University of Calcutta and St. Xavier's University. Good evening. UNICEF has been working with government, police, judiciary, universities, Child and Women Rights Commission, civil society organizations, and media for the well-being of children in the state. We have quite significant progress in routine immunization, reduction of infant, child, and maternal mortality, school enrollment, provision of water and sanitation, and social protection. Despite this remarkable progress, there are some geographical pockets like the districts of Malda, Murshidabad, Purulia, and South 24 Parganas, and some group of backward population like the minorities, scheduled caste, and scheduled tribe, still lagging behind. In general, state still needs to reach two areas, nutrition and child marriage. In the development history, reaching last miles of progress is always a difficult journey. And their government and development partners cannot alone reach this last journey. We need support from all stakeholders of the society, and media is the most critical partner at this stage. I am giving an example of ending child marriage. We know generally it's due to poverty, lack of awareness, education, etc. But in Bengal, poverty has now come down to 16%. To reduce income barrier of parents, government has quite good number of social protection schemes like ration scheme, Lokkir Bandar, Shashtra Sati, etc., etc. To reduce child marriage itself, lots of schemes like Konyasri, Shobushati, Shabala, etc. are also there. If we talk about the awareness, let me tell you my discussion with an adolescent girl in Purulia when I visited that district. And I was talking to that girl and asked, she was a student of grade 8. And I asked her, if you are forced for a child marriage, what you will do? And she was telling me fantastically, step by step. First, I will call my friends, then I will talk to my teachers. If it doesn't work, then I will talk to panchayat leaders. Then I will talk to BDU, police station. And lastly, I will call Childline 1098. So from that interaction with that girl, I'm quite certain that huge activities done by development partners, government, and civil society organizations, so that all the girls, adolescents, they are aware of this malpractice in the state. But still, we see also the son preference. We can see in an educated family, attempt for a boy, and sometimes it is ending up with having 4 or 5 girls and without a boy at last. And also we can see on the other side, no interest of parents to invest on girls. We can see clearly the educated parents with well of income, they are sending their girls to government school, but on the other side, they are sending their boys to private schools. So we can see the difference and the preference. Even we can see, despite all the law, Police and Enforcement Act, some parents are going to other states to avoid the police arrest and all those things for arranging child marriage in other states. I have witnessed to visit a lot of hospitals in different districts and the block levels. And I seen lots of huge teenage pregnancy. And if you ask the question, how old you are? And everyone is saying, I'm 20 years old. Some of them are mother of 2 or 3 even. But easy calculation is 18 plus 2, so 20 years. But if you look at their faces, you are certain that they are definitely not 20 years. So it is deep-rooted value system and norms in the society about the value for girls. And it's a harmful practice and has intergenerational gap and impact on girls and continuous vicious cycle of malnutrition. See a teenage girl getting married, child marriage, and she is getting pregnant as a teenage pregnancy, and she is having a low birth weight children. And anemia among those adolescent and teenage pregnancies are severe. So again, that low birth girl getting growing, and again she is becoming a mother, again a teenage pregnant. So it's a vicious cycle going again and again around this cycle. This is a tough situation, and it needs lots of patience and all-out concerted efforts from all of us, from all sections of the society, the communities, panchayats, teachers, intellectuals, frontline workers, self-help groups, civil society organizations, stakeholders, and definitely media has a vital role here. That's why Unicef reached partnership with Kolkata Press Club to train media students, entry and mid-level journalists from across the state. We are also collaborating with the media houses and personalities to organize roundtable talk shows, etc., so that we can create a Jano Andolan in the society, mass movement. I am happy today. This is the second phase of training. First phase we have done already. And my colleague Suchorita mentioned she already visited Purulia to have the first phase of training for the entry-level and mid-level journalists. We have already some collaboration with the ABP Anando, and that telecasted already 2 days, 2 episodes, 20 minutes each, where I spoke on behalf of UNICEF. Honorable Minister WCD spoke on behalf of the government, and SCPCR Chairman Ms. Ananya Chakraborty also spoke. So we already working on the ground. And today is the second phase of training for media students on development journalism. And we are happy that we are today in the second step on the journey on development journalism in West Bengal. And it will go on and go on. Understand the tenets of ethical reporting is another important area, an essential issue to ensure that rights of every individual is practiced and upheld. For us at UNICEF, our mandate to work on children and makes it necessary to ensure that news gathering adopts ethical guidelines and is backed by evidence from a credible source. We are also keen on storytelling and data journalism, both of which are important elements that make news impactful. Senior academician and journalist from the panel of experts for today's 3-day session. I am happy to see that the second session on development journalism sets the context today, and there will be a separate session on children and women during this 3-day session. I am so happy to note that data journalism has also been included along with the learning experience from senior journalists. As prospective journalists, students of different universities, media schools, we will be looking up to you to represent the fourth pillar of democracy, which is media. I'm certain that your motivation, your enthusiasm, your spirit will help to practice development journalism and carve a space for evidence-based responsible reporting, particularly on social issues like education, health, nutrition, water sanitation, child marriage, etc., etc. For UNICEF, we will definitely look at children, finding enhanced spaces of ethical reporting on them. I wish all the success of this course today, and thank to the panel of experts for making their efforts to support UNICEF and Kolkata Press Club on this noble journey. My sincere gratitude to the leadership of the Kolkata Press Club to make this journey happen. Thank you, everyone, and good evening again.
Thank you so much for your support and your inspiring words, Mr. Mohammad Mohiuddin. And we are extremely delighted to inform you that we have a very big number of students joining us for this workshop, and for the later workshop also. We have already spoken to universities like Sidhu Kano Birsha University, Purulia, and we'll be having even the IMC regional campus students here from East India, and students from North Bengal and other parts of Bengal as well. And we've already planned another visit to Bolpur Shantiniketan in the next week, and after that with journalists in Shiliguri also in the first week of April. I'm delighted to welcome one of the most accomplished professors in our field, Professor Piyush Kanti Panigrahi, who is a professor in the Department of Library and Information Science, and he's the head Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Calcutta. He completed his post-graduation from Vidyasagar University, and he was a gold medalist in his undergraduate degree at the same university. I have personally looked up to him for a number of things, and since he took over as the head, there have been some major changes in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. He was also awarded the Shikha Ratna Award by the government of West Bengal in 2019. And the CBCS curriculum in the University of Calcutta Department of Journalism and Mass Communication began a year before it started in the other departments. So we are delighted at your support and your presence, sir. And we can understand that you are traveling outside, but still you're here to support us. So it's a huge inspiration for us. Over to you, sir, for your address.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Pandey, for your kind words. Honorable Mr. Mohiuddin from Unicef, Dr. Snehasis, President of Press Club, Dr. Suchorita Bardhan, Dr. Minal Chatterjee, and all other dignitaries present in this inaugural session. In fact, I am delighted to be here in this inaugural session, and I must mention here that when we are contacted by the President of Press Club to join with this program, we are very much happy. And when this proposal I proposed to our authority, they are also happy to accept that. And so now we are part of this program, and I am happy that our students, not only our students of journalism of different universities are present here to be trained. In fact, the importance of development journalism have been mentioned by my previous speakers. So I don't want to tell anything more about that, but I must mention here that our department is one of the oldest department in the country. It started its journey from 1948, and we have come across with the many hurdles, and as already it is mentioned by Dr. Pandey that with all restrictions, limitations, we have started our CBCS course 1 year before we started in other departments, Calcutta University. And it happened, it could be done due to the support of all our journalist friends and guest teachers who have given lot of input to develop the syllabus. In fact, I expect that you all will be with us in future also. We love to have many such programs, in fact in offline mode, if now situation is being improved. So I believe that in future also, we will not stop here. In future also, we can collaborate many such workshops for the development of the profession of journalism, and we must train our journalist students tomorrow who will do proper journalism and will become a successful journalist with all their efforts, skills, and knowledge. I am sure that with this workshop, our future journalists, those who are becoming journalists, those who have taken journalism as their profession, will be benefited and will be much more benefited with the specific training programs, workshops, and in future we will also love to have such programs with UNICEF and Press Club. If you agree, we can do many more programs. With these words, I, on behalf of the university, welcome you all, and welcome all the dignitaries, all the experts, and all the participants, students in this workshop, and I wish a great success of this workshop. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I mean, it's indeed very inspiring. And now have the happy task of the vote of thanks for the inaugural session. So, vote of thanks first to the students of two institutions which are very close to me in many senses. University of Kolkata, of course, I'm an alumnus of the university, and this means a lot to us. And St. Xavier's University, Kolkata, thanks to a number of people, I have been involved with that university even before the department was set up. So I regard that to be very close to me as well. And thanks to the staff at the Press Club Kolkata for all their support. People who are working in the background, I should thank them first. Two of our colleagues, Mr. Devan Bhaduri and Ms. Manushree Maiti, and it's their hard work, which makes all these things go smooth. We are there on screen and facing you all, but there are a lot of people working behind the camera facilitating all this. So thanks to them. Without the support of professors like Professor Piyush, Kanti, Panigrahi, and the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the St. Xavier's University, Kolkata, and the head of the department there, Dr. Manali Bhattacharya, we wouldn't have been able to organize it for students the way we have. And one of the biggest motivations for us has been that we know and we announce that these are the programs for university students of West Bengal. Still, there have been many requests from places from north, from east, and from west, and from south for students to join in. And on certain days, we've had some students outside the state as well. So this means that this has created the right buzz, if I can use that word, with students, and there have been some very important takeaways for them. And that has been possible because of the eminent resource persons we've had for this workshop, and which has been a perfect mix of very accomplished academicians and journalists of the highest eminence as well. So we look forward to another 3 very interesting days, another 3 days which students, I'm sure, will find a lot of very important takeaways. With that, I take the permission of the chair and everyone to close the inaugural session and seek your permission to start the first technical session.